Hey, what's going on? It's your boy J Mike. We are exactly 18 days out from the time that I hit the platform in Orlando for USAPL Raw Nationals. I will be competing as a 120 plus in the Open as well in the Masters division. This is actually pretty funny. I just got finished watching the TSA or listening to the TSA podcast, and they actually discussed the different matchups or whatnot, and I'm in probably the worst matchup in the entire event based on the distance between what's first place and second place. Qualifying, I had the third highest qualifying total of all 1,300 lifters or whatever the number is. I still had the number 3 highest total, but I'm in the same class as Ray Williams. No one in the world is going to beat Ray Williams at a powerlifting meet. What gets this thrown and twisted a little bit more than normal is the fact that I'm outweighed by over 100 pounds, right? So in most powerlifting federations, I would either be a 275 or 308 weight class. So the distance that people see when you watch this, it's based on the actual the way the weight classes are broken up into. This is the equivalent of someone being a 74 competing against someone who's a 120, and looking at the totals and trying to compare them. You can't. And at this point, that's kind of where this is at this level. I know that I'm not going to beat them, but at the same time, I would like to finish second. That's what this whole race is about in competition, when you're realistic with yourself. If I can finish second or just improve upon what I did last year, where I finished third to Ray and Dennis Cornelius, there are several things that are hindering that. One or two is that they have a couple of guys in the field that actually didn't put their qualifying totals, or one in particular, he has the ability to outdo me. He's another big guy, well over 400 pounds. You know, he squats like damn near 900 pounds. He has a good bench of 500 pounds, but his deadlift is a little iffy. So if they don't call the lockout on his deadlift, there's a chance that, or if they don't call the lockout situation with his deadlift, he can very well total well over 2,100 pounds, and that'll probably put me in a battle for second place or even third place because of Bo Moore. But I don't believe Bo is competing in the Open. But I just want to make sure I put myself in the best possible position to place well. I believe Ray is ahead by over 300, close to 400 pounds on the field. That's crazy. And it's even more crazy the fact that I actually have a really good total. My total is 2,055 with a 700 squat, 600 bench, 755 deadlift. And like I said, I would love to squat 700 pounds at this particular meet, but I have no idea with the injuries and all these things that I'm going through right now. The dead arm's coming back. I have an impingement in my lat that is bothering me when I squat. Today I squatted as well. Didn't have as much discomfort, but I did almost die in the middle of a 650 pause rep. So it is a little concerning. I'm just going to take a little time in between these next sessions or whatever. Hopefully, you know, I can get my legs back, as well as, you know, work out some of these kinks that I have. The goals for this particular meet, if the squat goes well, is to squat over 700 pounds for the first time in an actual meet, bench at least 600 pounds, and break the American bench record that right now is at 585. I should do that on the second attempt. I'll try to chip it with 586, and then from there go for 600 or 606, depending on how well that moves. And deadlift is actually really funny, man. Last year around this time, maybe a week ahead of time, I had pulled 805 leading into the meet. And then when I got to the meet, everything went off. I actually missed my opener, which was only 700 pounds. I flat out missed it. And I had to come back and redeem myself in order to stay in the meet, as well as to win the Masters national title and a trip to Belarus, part of the world team, which I was an alternate for the Open, and I went as the #1 seed as a master, and also, you know, won the world title. So that is important. And then one of the other big things is to make sure no matter what happens, I get at least a 500 Wilks, which will qualify me for all the pro events at the Arnold, which is mostly probably the reason why most of us do this event, aside from being an actual world champion. So the video that you're about to see is just a basic bench workout that I did previous yesterday. Actually, I actually did this workout on the 26th. You'll be watching this on the 27th. So hope you guys enjoy, and I actually give a breakdown going through each one of the lifts later.
Alright, here go the first part of my warm-up. I typically start with just the bar. I attempt probably to do about 20 reps, but my counting is always terrible when doing these. Really just trying to get comfortable, see where I'm at for the day. Everything was rolling kind of smooth, so I just decided to try to push it a little bit today. My normal double wave was not in existence on today. I don't know what happened. When I went to go for my big double, it just wasn't there. But as you can see here, I take 20 with the bar and typically 20 with one red. I believe, like I said, I still don't know what's sad. You know, have these kilo plates and still don't speak kilo well, but I believe this is 165. Like I said, I try to do the rest for about 20. And on most times and most days, I can typically tell where about I am in terms of my strength for that particular day. This day here, everything was moving pretty well. I was getting good arm slots, so I thought this was going to be a good day to bench. Here, once again, 2 plates. And I typically never put my feet down until after this set. Once I get to 3 plates is when I have everything on. I have my wrist wraps, my belt, and I'm in my competition setup. So just probably give you an example exactly what I'm doing. I take my middle finger on the rings. By no means do I have a narrow grip, but it's not as wide as it could be, especially for my size. I have a 6'6", 6'7" wingspan, as well as I wear like a 37-inch shirt, so I have extremely long arms. So I have to work. And with these sets, I typically do 2 pause reps before I start my first heavy single. On this particular day, I chose to go at 501. I did it with a nice pause, and that didn't move particularly well. But I went ahead and tried 562. In my head, I was going for a double, but after the first rep, you can tell that wasn't here on that particular day. So my death rep was supposed to be with 567, which this is, and this is actually a PR for me for trying one of these reps. This is just a simple rep where I hold it for a very, very long time and then explode through with it. Now from this point here, I was like, let me get a shot at the American record. So I took it. This is exactly how I look in a competition. This is 586.5 pounds. Did it for a nice little single. So I'll take it. I'm pretty happy with it, especially after doing all the work previous to get to that weight.